Hi everybody, it's Wednesday here at DeFibo's Market. Really glad you guys are joining us. I know we took a little bit of a break, so happy to be back with you guys. Today we're going to be doing some blueberry scones. What's great about this recipe is you can alternate your ingredients, you can change it up however you'd like. Again, this is going to be a nice base for you to kind of get creative at home. So we're going to jump right in. We're going to start with 4 cups of flour. And you can also make these gluten-free if you'd like we talked about before with changing out your flour. You can do a nice cup for cup, gluten-free flour if you're kind of watching your gluten intake. So again, 4 cups of flour there. We're also... Oh, hi Mom! I've always wanted to do that on TV. Hi Mom. She's watching. We got 3 teaspoons of baking powder we're going to throw in there. So we're going to throw all of our dry in first, and then I've got 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of salt. Salt's always important when you bake. It brings out your flavors. And then I've also got the zest of 2 lemons. Depending on how big your lemons are, you might be able to get away with 1 large one. Or if you want to cut back a little bit on that lemon flavor, you can do that as well. Again, that's an ingredient you can kind of alternate however you'd like to taste. I've got 1 cup of sugar. Just gonna go right in. I've got my paddle attachment attached to my stand mixer today. And I'm going to just give that a little stir so everything kind of gets incorporated. And it's really important with scones that all of your ingredients, such as your butter, sour cream, which we're gonna use, and your eggs are gonna be all really cold. Cold ingredients is really going to be nice, so when you bake these scones off with that butter being cold, that's how you get that flakiness. Once that heat hits that butter, it's going to start to melt and become really nice and flaky and give you a nice texture. If it's not, you're not going to get that same light moist texture, fluffy texture that you're looking for. So again, really cold ingredients when it comes to that.
See, that's interesting though, because you said like the eggs before it had to be room temperature and the other things.
Yeah, so a lot of your doughs. So Kelly asked me, some of the recipes we've shown, you want to have your eggs at room temperature or your butter at room temp, vice versa. Any dough you really want to use and have really light and flaky crust, so pie crust, doughs, anything like that, your ingredients, you want to make sure they're nice and cold, because again, that's going to help you once you bake them to have that consistency. So it's really important when you're reading a recipe to make sure you're looking at the temperature of certain things. If a recipe is not turning out for you, it might be because your ingredients aren't at the temperature they're supposed to be. So that's a little trick of the trade there as well. Who says hi?
Shirley.
Hi Shirley, thank you for joining us. All right, I'm gonna add in 3 sticks of butter, and I've actually cubed this butter. You wanna do that before you add this into your dry. It's gonna make it easier for it to combine. And we're actually gonna just kind of incorporate this until you get the consistency of small peas. That's what you're looking for that dough. And I'll show you what that looks like once we get there. Come on over, Kelly. So again, I got the paddle attachment here, and what you're looking for is just for those butter cubes to, again, turn into small peas. Again, that way once that butter hits that heat, it's going to make your scones that texture you're looking for.
Kathleen says hi.
Hi, Kathleen. Thanks for joining us, guys. Like I said, I know we've been kind of MIA with the holiday, but we're back, and glad you guys are here with us. I'm just going to turn this up a little bit. And like I said, you can kind of incorporate whatever fruit you like. I'm doing blueberry today, but you could do, like a cinnamon orange and do some orange zest instead of the lemon. You could do cranberry. You could do like a currant or a raisin. You could.
Oh my gosh, we have Barbara tuning in from Kentucky.
Hi, Barbara from Kentucky. Thank you so much.
Angela from Green Lane, PA.
Oh, PA. I'm from PA. I'm a PA gal. All right, so we're almost there with this here. And this step is really crucial. If you don't get that consistency.
And tuning in from Western Maryland. Everyone's tossing out their location.
Oh, cute. I like that. I wonder if we can get, like, how far someone's watching us from. That'd be neat. My Oregon friends better be watching this, just saying. All right, Kelly, you want to take a look at this here? So we've kind of got the consistency we're looking for here. So see how that butter's just kind of, you can kind of see it in there. It's like this little small pea size butter pieces. That's what you're looking for. So now we're gonna add our eggs one at a time. And again, I got 2 eggs. And I know in other recipes we talked about with the flour forming gluten. When you're doing the butter, you can overmix if you take your butter too far. But once you start adding your eggs and our liquid ingredients here, that's when you're going to start to want to be careful because we just want to mix this until the dough is just combined, because then your scones can become too tough as well. So I've got our eggs in there, and now I'm going to add some sour cream. Now, sour cream is kind of my secret ingredient here, and it's about 1.5 cups. Again, cold sour cream, using those cold ingredients. And I would suggest the sour cream is something you do not want to omit. If you really want to get decadent, you can always do like a creme fraiche. But either the sour cream or a creme fraiche, but again, I would not omit that ingredient. And we're going to take this just till it's almost combined here. And then I've got 2.5 cups of blueberries. And this you can really, depending on how much fruit you'd like in your scone, you can kind of eyeball it if you'd like. Again, this recipe is really, really simple, really easy, again, really versatile, that you can just start throwing things in. Chocolate chips would be good. You can throw some walnuts or some pecans in here. Throw the rest in there. Alright, just till this is combined. And this will be a little bit more of a sticky consistency. So I'll show you here. So that's kind of what we're looking for. Again, it's going to have more of a sticky dough consistency. And I'm just going to put some flour out on my board here. And what I like to do with my scones is cut them using a nice little round cutter. Size really doesn't matter here. You can make them as large or as small as you like. I do like to make them pretty tall when they bake. And what's nice too about these, which is what I kind of tend to do with my little secret, is I will cut these out, pop them in the freezer, and you have them in your freezer whenever you need them. If you have company, vice versa, whatever, then you can take as many out or as little out as you need. Pop them on a baking sheet, and
Hello, Mother's Day.
yeah, Mother's Day. Again, they'll last in your freezer for a good length of time. Again, make sure you cut them out. Make sure they're frozen on a sheet pan, and then I put them in a nice little Ziploc baggie. That way you can, like I said, pull out as many or as little as you'd like.
Kathleen's watching for the first time.
Hi, Kathleen. Thank you for joining us. All right, I'm going to add a good amount of flour to this because, like I said, it is pretty sticky. And don't be afraid of the flour. Some recipes, you do want to be careful, but this one, again, is pretty sticky.
So that doesn't make it tough, adding too much flour? Or?
Since there's not too much flour in this, that's the only reason I'm not too concerned about how much flour I'm adding. you will find with some recipes it will tell you to very lightly flour the board, but I really want to be able to get this to a consistency where I can actually roll this out. And it might take me a little bit here too. It also doesn't help that it's a little warm in here today in the market. All right. So for the sake of TV, I'm going to roughly show you what you're looking for as far as a size here. And then any of the cookie cutters you can really get at any, craft store, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, even in any of the grocery stores too. Or, get creative. You can also, if you don't have a cutter, you can still do this recipe. You can cut these into nice little triangles just by using a knife at home. And what I like to do is I like to just run my cutter through the flour as well. That way, we shouldn't have too much sticking, but we might today. Well, magic of TV, this little guy isn't going to want to work for me, but that's okay. So you're really looking for that size, and I've got about this dough about 1 inch high. So once you would cut these guys out, I would line this onto a parchment lined sheet pan, and then you can, like I said, either bake these right from frozen once you put them in your freezer, or you can pop them right into the oven if you're wanting to bake them off right away and then eat right away. I've actually got some already done here for you, and these we've actually kind of done a nice little egg wash on them before you put them in the oven. Nice little thing of some sugar, sanding sugar, and then once they come out cold completely, I did a nice little vanilla glaze drizzle on those just to add a little bit of something special. Again, they can go completely without that glaze, or that just kind of elevates them a little bit more. But like I said, this recipe you can really do however you'd like. Get creative with it. Again, we'd love to see your pictures if you guys are making these recipes at home. And these scones will last a couple of days if you're putting them in an airtight container just on your counter. I wouldn't suggest any fridge or anything like that, because it'll, start to dry them out almost in that fridge. But again,
you want to break one open and
yeah,
try?
yeah, we can absolutely do that. Let me put my hands off here. Well, don't mind my messy hands. But that is the consistency you're looking for.
Yum.
Nice and fluffy, got the blueberries in there.
Debbie Davis says looks yummy.
They are very yummy.
At what temperature?
So I would bake these at 350. Again, like we talked about, depending on how your oven is. But 350 is kind of your general baking temperature. And then I would bake them, start out at 15 minutes. Again, check them after that. They should be nice and golden brown on the bottom like mine are. And then what I like about these is they get a nice kind of crunch on top, and then you've got that really soft section on the inside.
Yum.
I feel like everything we make, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so good. But they're really good, really simple. And this is kind of like a mixing method that once you learn, you can do other recipes like this. That's what's nice about baking. There's so many baking methods, but once you get them down, you can really expand your horizon and do a bunch of stuff. But we got these here at the market, so if you're local, come by, stop in, come try some. But otherwise,
Do a rundown of the recipe again, real quick.
yeah. So I know Kelly's going to be posting like the exact measurements, but of things, but we've got some flour, we've got baking powder, baking soda, salt, sour cream. We did some lemon zest, we did some blueberries today, some sugar. And so again, these are all ingredients that pretty much everybody already has in their pantry. So you're not having to go out and buy anything special. But again, Kelly's going to post all the ingredients and their measurements, as well as the step-by-step process. So if you guys are needing to see that written out, we'll have that for you as well. But again, if you make them, take pictures. We'd love to hear your feedback, questions. I think we'll be doing a live next week as well. So watch our Facebook page for what we're going to be doing next. And again, we love you guys joining in and saying hi. So thank you again so much from DeFebo's Market. Have a great day. Bye, guys.